Thank you for coming. So today I want to share something with you that is central to my life and my work. We call it world dharma. It's a simple idea with deep roots. It's that spiritual practice was never meant to stay private. It exists to serve the world. Over the next several minutes, I'll walk you through what that means, how it works, and where it's headed. Here's the heart of it. Most of us think of spiritual practice as something we do for ourselves, to find calm, to find clarity, to become enlightened. And that's real. But waking up was never only about healing yourself, elevating yourself, liberating yourself. Inner clarity doesn't stay locked inside. It flows outward as kindness, as strength, as resilience, as good in the world. So the inner work and outer good are not two separate things. They're one movement of dharma. Practice that pours outward into service is what I mean by world dharma. In Bodhisattva, the intention behind practice takes three forms. The first is the intent for liberation for yourself. The second is the intent for liberation for others. This is the ideal of Bodhisattva. But giving without ever refilling leaves you empty. The third holds both, liberation for yourself and liberation for others. This is the way of world dharma. With this intention, you deepen yourself so that you can have more to give. Cultivating the dharma and enlightenment within you is not withdrawing from service. It is the preparation for it. And this rests on something the Buddhist teachings have always pointed to. Nothing exists in isolation. Everything is interconnected. This is illustrated by the image of Indra's net. Indra's net is a vast web where at every crossing there's a diamond, a jewel that reflects every other jewel. When one jewel becomes brighter, all become brighter. There's no separate self standing apart from the web. Harmony isn't something we have to force into being. It's how things already are. Our work is simply to remember it and to act from it. So let me take you to the heart of the practice. This is the part I most want you to feel. Not just blessings, not just prayer, but every act of dharma and the light it makes. It produces what I call the invisible light. The invisible light is a light that comes from dharma and holds the darkness at bay. The darkness is the lower aspects of human consciousness: anger, greed, jealousy, territorialism. When the invisible light spreads through the world, it illuminates all beings and quells the darkness of the lower aspects of human consciousness. Meditation, mindfulness, bodhisattva, yoga, every one of these is an action of dharma. And every act of dharma in world dharma practice sends a wave of light into the world. And that light, like water, flows to the perfect place where it's needed most. It stays the darkness of negative thought, of heavy emotion, of harmful intention, not just in the one who practices, but in the field around them. Here's something important to know about how this grows. When you practice with the intention of awakening, not only for yourself, but for all beings in the world, you carry a higher intent, a higher vibration. And that higher intent grows, what we call the second intention, far faster than the practice of enlightenment for yourself alone. Your practice becomes a magnified, invisible light cast across the world, flowing like the Tao to the place where it's needed most, to hold the darkness at bay. This builds directly on Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva is the general vibe, the open heart turned toward another. World Dharma sharpens it. From a general goodwill into, in the second attention, specific aid to the perfect place, aimed exactly where the world needs it most. That intent, that focus, is why we work. Work accelerates your own spiritual elevation. Now within all of this, blessings, prayer, meditation, mindfulness, bodhisattva, these acts of dharma hold a special place. These inward practices become outward blessings. Meditation is not for oneself. Prayer is not a request made from weakness. These are acts of love. The heart aligns itself with what is highest, and an offering is born that has an alignment to benefit others. This is the law of high dharma, ancient and inexhaustible. Spiritual practice draws from the shared well that lies beneath the fabric of consciousness. Meditation, chanting, prayer, transmission are carried in silence. Each is a true offering, creating this invisible light that dispels the darkness of the human heart. And it is offered for all beings, without exception. No one is left outside the circle. It is for all beings in this world. The purpose of all of it is harmony. It accelerates the ability to calm the storms within so that it can calm the storms in the world. It holds nations. It embraces waters. It elevates generations in a single embrace of world dharma intention. Quiet as it is, meditation becomes a powerful form of service to the world. It is a simple intention to hold in your heart. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be free. May the world be well, and may we help make it so. Meditation is to bless the world, to stand on the side of invisible light. Every meditation, every act of mindfulness and yoga, bodhicitta, and selflessness, is a seed planted in the shared ground of our world, of humanity. This brings us to something that's even new for me, the cosmic mandala. This is the universal mandala of Dharma. The Seven showed me this for the first time during the summer solstice. They showed it as the essence of all mandalas, of all dharmas. It is the cosmic mandala, the Maha Mandala, that holds all mandalas. In the mind's eye, it appears as a vast, diffuse blue and white light, with a clear white light burning at its center. And here's why it matters. Through our meditation and our Dharma work, we set a vibration that flows to the right places. That vibration aligns the world with universal Dharma. That is the deepest meaning of this work. World Dharma aligns the world with universal Dharma. Now let's ground this. The United Nations. They have the 17 global goals for world equity: poverty, health, education, climate, peace. You can think of them as the measurable worldly form of what Dharma has always pointed to: peace, liberty, and happiness for all. I want to be clear about my own part in this. As a member of the United Nations Association, I founded the United Nations Spiritual Alliance for Youth, an organization that works with the UN, especially for the benefit of the next generation. I am not a teacher or leader of the Sangha. I am not the leader of the United Spiritual Leaders Forum. None of those members are in the United Spiritual Alliance for Youth. It stands on its own, alongside the Forum and the United Nations for the world. So my first attention work is through the United Nations Spiritual Alliance for Youth. My second attention work is through the Pearls of the Dragon's Garland. These are enlightened artifacts created by Buddhas across dimensions, built to hold and carry enlightened teachings to help the world. I wield and access these artifacts and transmit them to places in the world as powerful transmissions of enlightened support. That is my work. No one else does this work with me. It is my inner spiritual practice and offering to the world. Real change demands both powerful spiritual blessings and practice, and also work in the physical world. One hand is spiritual power, blessings, prayers, activations, the pearls, light, meditation, bodhicitta. The other is physical attention, showing up, teaching, participating in yoga, building, serving, sharing. Neither hand alone is enough. The invisible light needs both hands to carry it forth into the world. This brings me to the alliance that carries this, the United Spiritual Leaders Forum. This is an alliance of enlightened masters, each with capacities as strong as any other. One of the greatest Taoist masters of China, Master Wu, one of the greatest geomancy Taoist masters of Taiwan, Joshin Sensei, the lineage holder of Shingon Buddhism, Amote Sensei, the lineage holder of Shinto, and more. Each guides their own school, some with millions of students. Together, they form a fellowship across highly enlightened lineages: Buddhist, Taoist, Vedic, Shinto. The second attention structure of the forum is not held by one master, but by all. And in coming together to help the world, they have decided to focus on the youth, the next generation. And so the mission is simple: reach them now with the wisdom of the ancient masters, while they're young and their minds are open and not hardened, bringing light to their minds. If you can shift the attention of the next generation, in 20 years, the world can transform into a place we wouldn't even recognize now. But we have to make these teachings accessible. We have to meet them where they are. When people have problems, anxiety, overthinking, dealing with grief, or aspirations, how to have a positive mindset, they go to online platforms. And they're not looking for the path to enlightenment or how to become one with the Tao. They're searching for modern topics, the hardships that they're dealing with: depression, social anxiety, how to find purpose. These are the same questions humanity has always asked, only in the language of today. So we answer that language. We answer that language with enlightened intelligence. This is a novel AI that is rooted in the spiritual wisdom of the teachers of the United Spiritual Leaders Forum with psychological heuristics, somatic modeling, and machine learning to speak to them in terms of their own interests and needs. This creates the personal support platform. It brings this ancient wisdom through everything they already use: books, audiobooks, podcasts, videos, even manga and webtoons, all the places where they seek answers and relief. And the first attention vehicle that enables this is Pearl Prime, a content engine, a place of truth and support built to liberate people from contemporary hardships and to enable people to reach their highest goals. You have to understand what the youth are given, the world they're born into. They are connected to the internet, and the feeds they've inherited are engagement machines, tuned to reward outrage and fear, channels to manipulate them to give power to others. This is the most connected generation, is also the most anxious and the most unmoored. That's the problem we're here to answer, because with all this misinformation, manipulation, and engagement based on greed, they're not seeing the truth. So content rooted in enlightened teachings brings them personal support, help for what they need. Think about Disney. Disney over the years has become a special platform, a platform of joy. And while Disney brings inspiration, Pearl Prime seeks to become the platform of personal support, enlightened intelligence aimed at real struggles, meeting a young person mid-scroll so that, for once, they find actual help. The world needs truth, support, not a self-help book gimmick, but information from enlightened roots that supports the soul, the mind, and the body. So personal practice creates the invisible light that is the source, the United Spiritual Leaders Forum, the ancient roots of enlightened teachings. Gen Z and Gen Alpha, the ones we serve. We offer personal support, real insight, real answers in their language, where they reach for help. Enlightened intelligence is the method, Pearl Prime, the delivery, and the vision, one world, elevated. This is the way of world dharma, ancient wisdom for modern problems. One world cared for and uplifted, rooted in enlightened wisdom, constructed by Pearl Prime and delivered by 48 Social. The next generation is waiting. Do you want to change the world? Through world dharma, in 20 years, the world can be a transformed place, elevated, peaceful, and aligned with the universal dharma of the cosmic mandala. Thank you.